Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Myself Bhumika. Our topic is word formation. The creation of new words in a language never stops, and English is one of the languages that is particularly fond of adding to its large vocabulary. Neologisms. It is basically a newly coined word which starts to fall into the mainstream usage. For example, the electric suction sweeper was invented by J. Murray Spangler. So the device is eventually called as Spangler. Later, he sold his invention to William H. Hoover, and people started calling the process of cleaning with vacuum cleaner as hoovering. Etymology. The study of origin or history of a word is known as etymology. Etymon means original form and logia means study of. Latin and Greek are the major sources for many English words. For example, mono is a Greek word and uni is a Latin word. Borrowing. It is the process of borrowing words directly from another language. For example, the word jewel is derived from French. Piano is an Italian word. The word yogurt is from Turkish and sofa is an Arabic word. Loan translation. It is also known as calque, which is a process of translating the elements of the word to the borrowing language. For example, gratte-ciel, which is a French word translated as scrape sky. Wolkenkrabber, a Dutch word, is translated as cloud scratcher. Perros calientes, a Spanish word, is translated as hot dogs. Blending. Blending is the process of combination of two separate words to form a new word. For example, smoke plus fog is called as smog. Television plus broadcast is called as telecast. Hypochorisms. It is the process of reduction of words which is mostly favored in Australian and British English. For example, they call television as telly, Australian as Aussie, bookmarker as bookie, and handkerchief as hanky. Back formation. It is a specialized type of reduction process in which usually noun is reduced to verb. For example, the noun donation is reduced to the verb donate, and emotion as emote, syllabification as syllabify, and choreography as choreograph.
Compounding. Compound words. A compound word is a word made up of usually two but sometimes more words that are joined together. The two or more that make the compound word are independent words. They have their own distinct meanings. When those words are joined and form a compound word, that compound word has its own new meaning. There are three types of compound words. Compound words can take three possible forms: closed, open, and hyphenated. In closed form, there is no space between the joined words, and in open form, there is a space between the joined words that still act as one unit. And in hyphenated form, there is a hyphen between the joined words. Closed compound words. Closed compound words are usually made up of two separate words that are put together to form a new word. There is no space between the two words in a closed form compound word. The compound appears as one single word. Cup plus cake is equal to cupcake. Second, open compound words. In an open compound word, there is a space between the two independent words, though they are still treated as one unit with a new compound meaning. Example, living room. Third, hyphenated compound words. Hyphenated compound words have hyphens between each of the independent words that serve as connectors. The hyphens are a visual clue that the words form one unit. Example, merry-go-round. According to Collins Dictionary, a compound word is defined as one that made up of two or more words, and the Cambridge Dictionary defines a compound word as two or more words linked together to produce a word with a new meaning. Compound words can be said to be permanent compounds or temporary components. Permanent compound words are those that are already a part of the language, whereas temporary compound word is one that is formed to suit the writer or speaker's requirement. Example for permanent compound words: grandmother, First aid. And temporary compounds, words like red handed, left handed, bright eyed, are the kind of words that can be created to suit the requirement of the language user.
Clipping. Clipping is one of the process of word formation. Clipping is a process whereby the words are formed by shortening the other words. For example, exam clipped from examination, ad from advertisement, prof from professor, max from mathematics. There are four types of clipping. Back clipping, which is known as apocappation. It is the loss of one or more syllables at the end of the word. For example, app is clipped from application. Fore clipping, aparesis. It is the loss of one or more syllables at the beginning. Phone is clipped from telephone. Middle clipping. Middle clipping, it retains only the middle part of the word. For example, influenza. And the clipped word is flu. Compound clipping. Compound clipping. It is shortening of compound words by combining the initial parts of the words. For example, forex. Forex is clipped from the word foreign exchange. Coinage. Coinage is a process of inventing totally new words. Brand names of the company are often coined. For example, Jello and Kleenex, which is known as gelatin and tissue. Words often coined in the name of a person or place. For example, Teflon is coined from teflafluron. Some of the coined words are Nutella, Xerox, granola, Band-Aids, Teflon, Google, Hoover, aspirin, zipper, escalator, Kleenex, jeans, etc. Eponyms. Eponyms are words formed from proper nouns. For example, name of the person or things. Some of the eponyms are Achilles bees from Achilles, Freudianship from Sigmund Freud, Chauvinism from Nicholas Chauvin, Caesar salad from Caesar Cardini, Mencken's law from Mencken Kanka. Here are few eponyms as follows: Boycott from Charles Boycott, and the diseases Parkinson and Alzheimer is named after James Parkinson and Alois Alzheimer. Sandwich is eponym from Earl of Sandwich. Fahrenheit is named after Gabriel Fahrenheit, and the hyperbaton from the Greek hyperbaton, overstepping. Saxophone is named after sax, the instrument making Belgium family, and the Salisbury steak, a diet meat, is named after the American physician James Salisbury. Example is named after the Latin word exemplum. Acronyms. Acronyms are the words derived from the initials of the several words. They can be pronounced as a one word. For example, NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Few examples of acronyms are Rest in Peace, United Kingdom, UNESCO, as soon as possible, IQ, DIY, NASA, etc. Derivations. Derivations is the most common word process. It is a process in which the new words are formed based on the existing words. Sometimes it changes the category and parts of speech. It produces new lexemes. Affixes is a part of derivation. Affixes is a morpheme that is attached to a word stem to form a new word. It is divided into three types: prefixes, infixes, and suffixes. Prefix means adding in the beginning to the word stem. For example, undress, unafraid, uncovered, untold, unbearable, etc. Suffix means adding at the end of the word stem. For example, terrify, civilize, emotionless, etc. Yule in 2010 defines affixes as a large number of small bits of English language which are not usually given as separate listings in dictionaries. Infix are the part of affixes which is the inserting the middle of the word. It does not often used in English language. For examples, Gangaro, Ganga bloody ru, absolutely, absolutely are some of the examples of infixes. Multiple process. The creation of particular word involves more than one process. For example, snowball is a compounded from two free morphemes and it is converted into snowballed verb. Internet is a product of clipping from international network which is then converted into netiquette, conversion. Cyberbullying is a blend of cyber plus bully, and it is a conversion of gerund cyberbullying. Let's look into the few examples of entire word formation. Automatic is clipped into auto. Information and entertainment are the blends of infotainment. Modulator and demodulator is the blend of modem. Love and seat is the compounding of love seat. International and police is the blend of Interpol. A comb is converted into two comb where the process of conversion is used. Delication is the clipping of Delhi. Captain Charles Cunningham boycott is eponym of boycott.
These are the process of word formation.
Morphological process and its types. Morphological process. A morphological process is a means of changing a stem to adjust its meaning to find its syntactic and communicational context. It is a process whereby new words are created via adding other morphemes in the beginning, middle, and the end. Affixation. Affixation occurs when a morpheme is attached to the root. It is divided into four types: suffix, prefix, infix, and circumfixes. Prefix and suffixes are groups of letters attached before and after the root word. Prefixation. Prefixation is the morphological process whereby the bound morpheme is attached to the front of the root or stem. The kind of affix involved in this process is called prefix. It is divided into inflectional and derivational, but it is less protection than the suffixation. For example, the suffix "un" attached to the front of the stem selfish to form the word unselfish. Suffixation. Suffixation is the process of placing the affixes, that is, suffixes, in the end of the root. It is more protective and widely used in the languages of the world. For example, the past tense suffix ed is attached to the end of the stem walk to form the past tense verb walked. Infixation. Infixation is a morphological process whereby a bound morpheme attached within a root or stem. The kind of affix involved in this process is called an infix. Circumfixation. A circumfix is a discontinuous affix that divides the root, but it is itself divided into a suffix and a prefix. It is a kind of affix that embarrasses the root. For example, in English, the word enlighten. Interfixation. Interfixation and interfix precedes one root and follows another. It is used for compound words. Transfixation. A transfix is an affix which both divides the root, but it is itself divided. It is dominant in Arabic, Hebrew, and other Semitic language. For example, kitab, rasul, etc. Modification. Modification is a morphological process which produces an alternation within a root or stem. For example, the root man is modified when it undergoes the pluralization that results in the form men. Reduplication. Reduplication is a morphological process that involves repetition of a part or all of the word. It is divided into three kinds: adverb, adjective, and concentration relation. It is used derivationally or inflectionally for the grammatical purposes, such as indicating plural or tense, and for some other meaning.
Thank you for watching the video.